Hi, you guys. This is Martin. My series on how to pay off your car loan in 36 months without giving up Starbucks. This is Mark Morris. Make sure you subscribe and share. Help some people that need help, man. There's like 2,200 people, 2,200 get laid off from Macy's, and then 125 stores closing. And then, from each of those stores, whoever was a landscaper, janitor, or supported that facility, they're going to be out of a job too. So you're looking at over maybe 4 to 5,000 people. And then you have 452 Pier 1 import stores closing. And that doesn't count maybe the two or three people that work there, time to one janitor, time, how many people deliver stuff like from FedEx or from other facilities, time and impact on the restaurants or the gas station that they get their money. So you need to be on the lookout because, like I told you before, 69% of businesses make money. Break even or lose money. I was on the phone with a call with someone yesterday, and she's telling me, "Well, I don't want to press them and stuff like that." I'm like, "Well, you got to get people to make a decision." I was supposed to call her up at 2, but finally I manned up and said, "You know what? I got to get people to make a decision." I'll call her back on Thursday. You got to learn to press people now. Times are hard, man. I was like at Target today, and like I saw a lady. She had her Mercedes. It's the one that's from like 2008, 2009. So she had a black one, and I finished it with her card. And I pull up with my Camry. Kind of gave me like this weird look. It's like, can I just take your basket, man? I'm sorry. Forgive me for not having a luxury car and shopping here at Target today. I thought this was a low income place. I didn't know you had to have a Mercedes to park in a parking lot of Target. Excuse me. So then I walked into the store. So it's just funny. Like, well, people are basically car rich, cash poor now. Just take a look. I like driving by my fulfillment centers in the morning. Just all these nice cars, and know what they're doing? Picking shit all day, man. That's it. And you know what? Those jobs are going to get cut because if you have over 600 stores closing, no one's going to, they'll find that stuff at another 99-cent store or go to a Target or something. So all these so-called fulfillment centers you see I'm building, eventually that's going to hit like a saturation point, which means that it's going to be too many of them built. So a lot of them are going to remain vacant because there's no one to work in them. So then you're going to have another. Watch, that'll be the next big real estate crisis. The default in logistics fulfillment, which is basically a fancy name for AKA warehouse. It just trips me out. I worked in a warehouse when I was like 18 years old. When I was younger, it used to be like a job. You just work at a warehouse because it's like the job of last resort. Or you're a child molester, you're on the run from the law, you're some type of psychotic murderer guy who needs money for your next victim. Now you got a bunch of people driving all over the street delivering things in what I call the child molester vans. If you ever watched the streets of San Francisco or Starsky or Hutch, anything that was a white van is what the criminal always was like. The criminal was always kidnapping people in or planting a bomb in. If you look at Criminal Minds, the criminal puts the bombs in always a white van. So every time I see like someone in a white van, I'm like, there goes a child molester, murderer, who knows? And he's heading to a warehouse where, in my day, that's where actually the criminals, people who just got out of jail, the murderers and psychotic people would just work to get money. But that's like the job of choice now. So I hope those people are smart enough to use their money because when technology comes along, I don't think a lot of them are going to be working anymore. So, but let's get on down to business. Make sure you subscribe and share. Do you hate when I just talk about fulfillment centers and warehouses? How I rag on people when I see what their luxury cars in front of a Target or 99-cent store? I am tough on them. You know why? I used to own a Beamer, and I know what it is like. I can tell if a person has any extra money or not because I have one. I used to have a 2007 325. I had a coupe. And I know it just eats your money, man. What even made my situation worse, I owned duplexes and stuff. My grandmother passed away. I had legal bills. So every time I spent 300 or 400 on that car, oh, I hated that car. But then you think, oh, I'm so cool driving around. Till I finally got rid of it. It's like, you know what? Let me go out and make some real money so I can get a car that everyone can get now. In my day, you really had to qualify for a car. Now it's just they don't even care if you pay your other bills. They're just like, Okay, you can make the car payments. Let's go. So if you can't pay for the food for the kids, can't pay for your medical bills, that's why people are doing all this strange stuff. You see them all kind of ways trying to save money. There'd be no way you would see like a luxury car at a Valero or AM/PM. But people gotta stretch their money. When you get that car, when you become cash rich and cash poor, it kicks your butt. I know. So, but today I thought I would just like take a little look at my YouTube site for my top 10 videos. So let me just show you this. You can take a look. On March 11, 2013, my student loan was $94,708.06. And it basically had stayed at that same level until just about, when did I get that butt kicking? About until March 5th, 2014. The day before, I got a call from a student loan lady who said, "Mr. Morris, your loan cannot be on deferment anymore." And that loan amount was $94,426.08. And I think I had it on deferment for about, starting June 4th of 2013. She said, either you're going to pay on this loan or we're going to like take your income tax. And she broke me down. I was crying, man. I remember once she gave me like the terms. I remember I tried to get a job at Macy's. I got hurt. I was limping around, sleeping. I was like tired, and I got fired from that job. And I was using that job to eat, man. Hated that. And then I finally got another job, and I was worked at cashier for Macy's from 2014 to like just 2019 of this year. This is the first year I didn't work because I got on the phone. I was asking the lady, okay, I want to work. But then she's like, can you work midnight? Can you work graveyard? I'm like, well, the cashiers and stuff are usually out of there by 10 or 12. So what is she saying? So what she was trying to allude to what she wanted me, which means what she wanted me to say was yes, because they have a lot of people, because Macy's was trying to do the Amazon thing, try to have people do that. So they wanted people to fulfill, I guess. I don't know. But then it turns out last week, a couple of weeks ago, 125 stores closing. So whatever they tried to do, it didn't work. I hate that, man, because that job saved me for several years till I really got good at sales and finding different jobs and hustling. But let's look at my top number one that you guys wanted to. You guys went all the way back to December 29th, 2014, paying off your car loan early. Back in 2014, I got rid of my Beamer about October 2014 because the transmission had went out. And I had spent $7,885 on the transmission, only about 2 years. And I was on my way to get the car smogged at a gas station. And all of a sudden, I was like, I'm like, what's going on? And I tried resetting everything, going like 215 miles an hour. And it just turns out it was the transmission. So that day I had ended up spending I was 2 months without a car, spent $785. Then 2 years later, like about that October 2014, I took it to Premier Auto or something. All I was doing was just trying to get like an oil change. And then when I got the car back, it was, it's like, what's going on? And it turned out it was the transmission, and they wanted another $8,000. And I said, that's it, man. If I'd have bought another transmission, I would have bought like a Kia or something. I was like, no. Not counting, I had spent I was trying to find better places to change the oil. I was trying to get quality places. It was a disaster. So then that's why I had to pay off the car loan early, because I got a call from the student loan person. And also I found out from my grandmother that she owed $412 for like a Medicare bill for surgery and for her stay in a convalescent home. And I was getting pressed by the state. They wanted their money. I was trying to go through all the paperwork and find ways not to pay it. They're like, bro, unless you plan on having a heart attack and drawing in grandma on the other side, you better come up with the money. So that's why I came up with the car loan early one, because I ended up paying off the Camry in 17 months, man, because I was tight on money. And then the student loan, everybody wanted their money. Lawyers, that was crazy. Number 2, breaking news: fulfillment centers are laying off January 18, 2020. I want you to go back first, look at the pay off your car loan early. Just look at it. Though I'm happy, it seems like I'm happy. I owed like probably over $200,000. Well, probably, okay, let me be honest. I was probably down about $68,000, $71,000 at that time. And now basically I owe $33,000 on my student loan, and I owe about $9,000 on the car. And that's it. Or maybe $5,000 on a credit card because I spent $5,000 for a conference instead of using all my cash. But back then I was down 19 plus 20 to the lawyer plus 20 to Visa, down another 60,000 to like the student loan. So I was probably down at least $150,000, $167,000 back then. I was down. I owed a lot of money, at least 100 something. So that's why I did the car loan one. And why I had breaking news: fulfillment layoffs are happening. Well, I talked to a friend and she told me she works at Amazon. And what Amazon was doing, they were offering people, you have the option of working overtime, or you can give up your hours and not show up at all. And I've never heard that before. I've worked retail, I worked at Petavina Mall and Dot, I worked at Disneyland. Anytime they want you to give up hours, that means they want you to, they're going to, either you give them up or they're going to cut them. And I put that down because that was before I knew about all the layoffs coming down with Macy's and all the Pure Imports. And then Limited Express, or some limit, laid off 91, closed 91 stores. So, and then I see like a lot of warehouses being built by me. There's 2 that are vacant, and there's 2 that are going up. And with those, you have over 1,000 stores closing. No one's going to order that much stuff. So they're eventually got to cut people. Macy's closing, that's understood. And recently I hit on these fulfillment centers. Like, I want you guys to go back to the one October 23rd, 2019. Also, I want you just to drive around where you work. If you work at one of these warehouses, aka fulfillment centers, whatever floats your boat, man. I just know child molesters, murderers, people out of jail, terrorists. That's all I think about and white vans. That's funny. We didn't even have a white van. I should have told Steve back there, Steve, we need a van. We need to be like the child molester kidnappers. Come on, man. We can't just be putting stuff in this nice pickup truck. What's wrong with us? Another one's about the fulfillment center. Go back and look and drive around. Where I drive at, there's one that was running about 24 hours a day from November to December. Empty. Even the one that's a little bit further up on Redlands Boulevard, cars used to be flowing all out into the street. No, not anymore. It's like totally open spaces. You know what that means. Some people got their walking papers. I see people driving to work quicker too, because they must be monitoring their time. So their time is coming to an end. You know what I mean? And then recently I had numbers. Let's hop to staying in shape at 52. You really look at that. 1.3%. Come on, 8 seconds. You telling me you guys can't learn something from that? Body combat, body pump. Most important thing that's going to cost you money, especially if you're working at a $14 and $15 hour job, is you can't afford to get sick because you don't have any extra money. And what are you going to do? You're going to go to the emergency room, run out more bills, and then you'll be hanging out at that loan, payday loan place I passed. So don't let that happen to you. Learn how to stay in shape, cut the fat. I was sick all year last year, and I said, that's it. Got rid of the cheese, got rid of the alcohol, got rid of the breads. Okay, I got to reduce all that stuff. You can learn. Start working out with those young people. They'll keep you in shape, man. Stretching. You need to do that. So go back. That's unacceptable. 8 seconds. I don't care if I told you how I put on my pants legs from one on the other. Learn that. And let's see what pay off the long one. Layoffs are coming. The reason I tell you, number 7 is layoff. I may have messed up. Layoffs are coming. Is your car loan paid up? The reason I brought that one up was because back in 1995, that's when I got laid off. I was working for the state, and people said, "You'll never get laid off, Mark. You'll never get laid off. They haven't had layoffs in 20 years. The worst they'll do is transfer you." So I said, okay. So then what happened? Got my layoff notice. Like, oh, that's fake. That won't happen. It won't happen. escorted out the premises. Please turn in your ID on your way out. And if we see you here again, bro, you know we gonna cuff you. So that was out. And I owe like $18,000 on my brand new 1990 Nissan Pathfinder. 1992 Nissan Pathfinder. And I mean, I had to struggle to make those payments, man. I worked the only place I'd ever worked for that was a warehouse because they wanted me to become forklift certified. And I said, no, I worked in a warehouse before. And there's only so much room for you to be doing with a forklift. So you're just wasting my time. And I remember I worked all these, that's how I got into sales, telemarketing. I ended up working at a place like, there's a place, UPS used to actually have their drivers drop off cash envelopes with checks and money. I used to actually count that. You put it in a computer for the route, you zero out the route, and then you give the money to someone, and an actual truck would come pick up all the money. That's how long ago it was, and now it's like all electronic. And I worked for FedEx. I used to do like the over-the-air stuff. I used to before we put a combustible the stuff on the airplane, they had me check it. I used to run stuff through system. I had some crazy stuff back then to make money, man. I think I slept with this one girl for a while so she could just feed me. I tell you, man, it was tough. So when it comes to having those car loans where you ain't got no money, you're going to be, some strange stuff. So that's why I want you to have it paid off. At least have it paid off 1 to 2 months. Because it took about that long for you to scrounge up enough money to make that payment. You almost have to take the whole time. And the last one is, sex, money, and coworkers complaining about me. That's number 8. I'm done with that one. It's just I couldn't. I heard that guy just whining and complaining. I said, that's how it is when he had just come back from like a 22 or 21 day trip. He comes back to the office. We take care of all his stuff, and this guy has the nerve to complain about, oh, you should have waited for me. I mean, isn't that the height of arrogance? Yeah, we're going to wait 21 days. We're going to leave this thing on your desk 21 days till you come back. Okay, anything else you want us to wait on if you go away again? That was the most idiotic thing I've heard in years of working. Probably I've heard worse, but this is one because I just heard him whining. Oh, you could have waited, or he's busy, blah, blah, blah. Just shut up. Shut up. That's what I'm telling you, man. Divorce rate, 47%. Trust me, it's going up, man. Women are just, I'm like most of these women, they're just tired. I'm tired of the guys whining. Most of the women make more money. And some of these guys are muscular muscles, and we're going to go with computers and robots. What are they going to do? Do a cage fight? That's about the only thing open to them. So, right out of time. But today was just a highlight of my top 10. I'm heading to Vegas on Thursday. In the next 3 days, we'll talk a little bit about GrowthCon with Grant Cardone and just see how much money I can make this year. See if I can pay off all my debts. It's possible. Let's get it done.